Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Coming back over here to Lake Mead. I was down here along this ever-shrinking shoreline a few weeks ago, right in this area here, and the marinas and boat docks are way out here away from the original ramp that's up here, somewhere in the neighborhood of a quarter of a mile away from where it normally was when the lake was operating at full capacity. Now it's at 27% capacity and shrinking. But I wanted to talk about in this video a comment somebody had left a few days ago about a supposed hole that was drilled in the bottom of Lake Mead. They said I needed to Google that and do some research on it, so I did. And I'm going to share with you guys what I found about a possible hole being drilled in the bottom, in the deepest part of Lake Mead here in just a moment. But coming over here to the homepage of the website, new photo at the homepage sent in by Mike out of Jarrettsville, Maryland, of a cloud to ground lightning strike, very large lightning strike that made contact with something on the ground there in Maryland from a few days ago. Looking at the Schumann resonance, I'd mentioned a pattern I've noticed in here for the last week, and I put together the last 4 days of the Schumann resonance data, and you can see the 13th, the 12th, the 11th, and the 10th. And you can see what I'm talking about. See the rhythm here? There's a systematic pattern that definitely shows up every 24 hours, and you can see a small pattern in between. So definitely something appears to be being detected in the Schumann resonance that's on some sort of a cycle. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, the sunspots continue to grow larger and larger. There's 4 active regions now on the Earth-facing side of the sun, so look for an increase in solar flare activity anytime now. Coming over here to the USGS, there was a very large 6.8 magnitude earthquake yesterday at Easter Island, a very shallow quake coming in at 10 kilometers deep. That's about 6.2 miles, and you can see there were a few aftershocks out here in this region. That's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. That energy was detected on seismographs all around the world yesterday. Not necessarily felt by people all around the world, but the shallow 6.8 earthquake was picked up on seismographs. As you can see, all the large black spikes here on these graphs, that's the energy from the 6.8 magnitude earthquake. Coming over here to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, it too detected the 6.8 primary wave. Briefly over here at the caldera, you can see some dark blue. That indicates magma intrusion. The red indicates earthquake signatures, and you can see a lot of activity over here in the northwestern region of the supervolcano caldera. That's the location of the 1959 7.2 magnitude quake that occurred in the Hebgen Lake area. In fact, I don't see the Hebgen Lake seismograph on here today for whatever reasons, but either way, there's not any major activity occurring at the supervolcano caldera, which is a good thing. Coming over here to poweroutage.us, still have 57,000 customers from yesterday's 175,000 customers without electricity in Maryland from yesterday's afternoon thunderstorms, and there's more storms brewing today. Looking at 9,000 in Georgia, 8,000 in Florida, and 7,000 in Texas due to weather-related issues right now as I do this video. Coming over here to the Lake Mead water database, yet another all-time record low reading of 1,041.76, the outflow superseding the inflow by just a little bit, less than 1,000. They're trying to minimize the outflow and increase the inflow as much as they can because water is going to be in even more demand with the higher temperatures now. You can see the temperatures are well into the triple digits, 111 degrees recorded up at Lake Mead in the last 24 hours, and the water level continues to get lower and lower. And I did do some research on this hole that was supposedly drilled in the bottom of Lake Mead, and it sounds kind of nefarious when you think about it, but I did do some research. And sure enough, there was a hole many years ago, back in 2015, a large 24-foot diameter hole. And inside this hole, there's a large pipeline that runs from one of the deepest locations in Lake Mead. And the objective of this very large tunnel and pipeline that was positioned in the bottom of Lake Mead is called the third straw. It's an intake valve that delivers water to Las Vegas. Las Vegas relies on Lake Mead for 90% of its water, and Lake Mead right now is operating at 27% capacity and falling. It's not even anywhere near 100%. It's not even close to 50%. And we have millions of people depending on this body of water right here. And the water rights are as follows. If it gets down below 900, the power plant would no longer work and water rights would go into effect. From what I understand, even with the implementation of this new massive intake valve that's positioned at the deepest part of Lake Mead, and this project was finished back in 2015, so it's been a few years since there was indeed a hole drilled in the bottom of Lake Mead. But if this number gets down to 900, water rights would go into effect. Las Vegas, from what I understand, would lose water rights first, then Arizona, and the water would remain flowing. What's left in the Colorado River would continue to flow into California. So Las Vegas and Arizona would lose rights to the water of the Colorado River if indeed it gets down to 900. And right now, that's the direction it's headed. Every day it gets lower and lower. You can see this big slope over here. It looks like a ski slope. Back in March is when the water really started taking a nosedive, and it has not stopped since. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Yes, there was indeed a hole drilled in the very center of Lake Mead back in 2015. It was a large project that was designed to deliver water to the residents of Las Vegas, Nevada. 2 million people depend on that water. That's 90% of Las Vegas's water comes from the shrinking Lake Mead. In this video, I've got a brand new picture slideshow, new sky phenomenon photos sent in from all around the world. First photo here sent in by Sabrina out of Florida. Couldn't help but notice these very colorful clouds up above the clouds here in the sky above Florida. Very unique photo once again sent in by Sabrina. Stan from Lake Tahoe. Couldn't help but notice this very intense low to the ground rainbow that was spanning across Lake Tahoe. Incredible photo there. Number 444 out of Northwest Michigan. Orange sky here almost looked like a flame in the sky as the sun was setting above northwestern Michigan. Another fiery orange sky by Katharina out of the Netherlands. That's unedited, exactly the way I received it. Cynthia L. out of Marietta, Georgia. Giant orange cloud in the sky above Georgia. Watts sent in this photo out of Kansas. Not sure what's going on here. This was taken from inside of what looks like a soccer stadium, and then this ominous looking orange cloud, orange and light brown cloud came in above the stadium that they were in back in June. You can almost see a rainbow up in there too. John Sir 247 out of Maine couldn't help but notice what looked like a triangle in the daytime sky. Look at that. That's unedited. Looks completely out of place. Does not look like a natural cloud. Then also sent in this photo here. Not quite sure what to make of this, but this too is unedited. Exactly the way I received it. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.